Formula One's first race of the 2026 season is only days away. With new rules and regulations for both drivers and teams to navigate, who will step up to win the first race of the season in Australia? Let's get into it. Let's start by predicting the top 3 in qualifying. Opening my predictions, in third place, for qualifying in the Australian Grand Prix, I predict George Russell. Coming into the season as the favourite to win the driver's title, is George Russell ready to become a Formula One world champion? For the first race in Australia, I think he will be feeling the pressure too much for the first race. If it is his first time in a really competitive car, I think he'll do well to get third in qualifying, to kickstart his campaign. In second for qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix, I predict Charles Leclerc. In the first race of the season, I think Ferrari will be on top. Just like they did back in 2022, I think Ferrari have focused on this year very well, and at least for the first few races, I think they'll be on top. But for the first qualifying session of the year, I think Charles will just miss out on pole position. In first place for qualifying, I predict Lewis Hamilton. I am partly biased, but I do really think Ferrari will have the best car coming into the first race, and I hope that Hamilton will get the better of his teammate Charles Leclerc, at least for the first qualifying session. After a difficult 2025 campaign, and overall a difficult ground effect era, I think Hamilton will turn his darkest years in Formula One over, with a huge confidence booster in Australia. In Australia, his qualifying record is amazing, and that's one of the reasons why I think he will take pole position for the first race of the season. Heading to the race, in third place at the Australian Grand Prix, I predict Charles Leclerc. I think that Charles will slightly fall back in the race, and maybe not keep up to his high expectations for the start of the season. I think only 2 other drivers will get the better of him, but I still think he'll drive an amazing race. In second, I have predicted George Russell. Moving the top 3 around slightly from qualifying, I think George Russell's and Mercedes' race pace will really show through, especially for a high-speed track like Melbourne. I think it'll be a tight race, maybe only coming down to the pit stops, but I do think someone will get the better of George Russell. In first place, for the Australian Grand Prix, in the first race of the season, I have predicted Lewis Hamilton. Even though I am biased towards him, I am hoping and thinking that he will come back nearer to his prime, especially better than next year. On social media, he has been way more excited and enthusiastic for this season compared to the last 4 years. I think the Lewis Hamilton from 2021 will return this year, and even though new regulations have come into place, I think experience will matter and will pay dividends, most importantly for the first race of the season. A win in Australia will definitely give Hamilton the confidence he needs to get back on form and challenging for a title. McLaren and Red Bull in the first races of the season, I think will be a bit behind, especially because McLaren mainly don't supply their own engine, and instead use a Mercedes engine. And also the fact that Red Bull are starting a new power unit project with Ford, starting just this year. So thanks for listening to my first race predictions, stay tuned for more.